Hi, I'm going to do a impromptu review of the movie Jurassic Park, which came out in 1993. I saw this when I was a little bitty kid, maybe 9 or 10 years old, maybe 8, um, and loved it like everybody else did. I thought it was a phenomenal, groundbreaking film. Um, I guess I'll review it a bit like you haven't seen it before. I'm sure there's some people out there that this goes way back. Maybe you pretty much gotta be familiar with this, but maybe you haven't seen it. If you don't know about right? Okay, so it was directed by Steven Spielberg. Came out in 1993, and it was based on a book by Michael Crichton, which came out in 1990. Now, I remember seeing that around the classrooms over the years. It was a popular book, and let's see if I can find the plot. Okay, I'll just read some of the Wikipedia on this. Industrialist John Hammond created a theme park of cloned dinosaurs called Jurassic Park on tropical Isla Nublar. After a dinosaur handler is killed by a velociraptor, the park's investors, represented by lawyer Donald Gennaro, demand safety certification. Gennaro invites mathematician Ian Malcolm, while Hammond invites paleontologist Alan Grant and paleobotanist Ellie Sattler. Upon arrival, the group is shocked to see a live Brachiosaurus. Um, oh, the hell, I'll just keep going. At the park's visitor center, the group learns that the cloning was accomplished by extracting dinosaur DNA from prehistoric mosquitoes preserved in amber. And so I'll just stop right there. So there's a lot of things to love about this film. From a cinematic standpoint, if you were alive in 1993, there was nothing you had seen that was this vivid, and in theaters, that this was this vivid and realistic. It felt you were staring at these actual creatures. There was old stop motion crap, and I was just watching a movie called Tapeheads, which came out in 1988. A funny goofball comedy with John Cusack and Tim Robbins. And it was directed by the guy Michael Nesmith, who was in the band The Monkees. And there's this bit where it was like all about old MTV music videos and stuff. The whole movie centers on that. And they had a piece of fried chicken in a fried chicken and waffles commercial, where the piece of chicken moves around and stuff. And it's all stop motion. That was just 5 years earlier. Albeit that was a low budget independent. But now you're seeing that live Brachiosaurus reach up to get a bite to eat from the branches of a tree. I got a hole in my shirt. I don't know. And then the sound design was also incredible. And I mean, you felt that when it came back down and its front feet hit the ground again, you felt that shake. It was just amazing. At 8 years old, when they were going on about mitochondrial DNA, I just kind of rolled with it because I couldn't have told you what any of that meant. Um, so this rich Scottish guy, Dr. Hammond, is it Doctor? Just Mr. Hammond? Again, he's got oodles of money, spared no expense. Created this whole, managed to get scientists together to go find mosquitoes trapped in amber. So a mosquito lands on a dinosaur 65 million plus years ago, sucks its blood out, lands on a tree, the sap rolls over the top of it, capturing it in the sap of the tree. That hardens into what's called amber, and that's preserved the mosquito for millions of years. And so that has preserved dinosaur DNA in it. And so when they find this, when they're digging through mountains, um, they're able to extract the DNA and then replace gaps in the genetic sequencing that are going to happen over that much time with similar frog DNA and bring dinosaurs back to life. Looking back now, at 40 years old, I'm like, how would you even know where to look? You're just gonna know that on the side of a mountain somewhere in the rocks is gonna be some. You're just gonna happen upon. So it's a one in a bazillion. You're gonna happen across that amber. Let alone you're gonna get a multitude of species from this process. Um, and the whole world's gonna be oblivious to it. It's a stretch. Um, and then I'm not a scientist, but why specifically mitochondria? The mitochondria of the DNA, and that's in the. I don't know. I must be missing something. It doesn't line up for me, but it sets up a very interesting story in a fun movie. So, like it said, they're well underway in the construction of their facilities on Isla Nublar, and a guy gets ate by a raptor. And so the people financing it want scientists who know about dinosaurs to sign off on the safety of the park. So the park is going to be a theme park. People will come to see real life dinosaurs. And in the pre social media and all the stuff we got now would have been amazing. You know, everything that you'd seen before was, again, cheap ass stop motion movie stuff. Um, you didn't have drones flying above mountaintops and showing you all this glorious stuff down. What would it be? It would be little robots like that film the Titanic. So before we could see the Titanic, what's left of the wreckage at the bottom of the ocean, HD quality and all this stuff. This was phenomenal. This was truly phenomenal stuff that just blew us all away. And just the idea, but the score was fantastic, the cast was fantastic, the film looked amazing, and the as you're going through this, anything that would have made you go like, okay, why are they doing that? You were so blown away, it didn't never occurred to you at the moment. So as the film gets going, uh, Ian Grant, Dr. Sadler, they go to the island. You're primarily following those two characters. And then when you get there, the Scottish guy's two grandkids show up. Timmy and other person, and little kids. And so this whole thing, Dr. Grant, who again he's your lead. He's a single guy who's leery of kids, doesn't want to deal with kids. So his girlfriend or fiance, I don't remember how that worked out, puts them in the vehicle with that guy, and they go off to go see real life dinosaurs. But when they first get to the island, they don't know that they've actually got real life dinosaurs. Everything goes horribly wrong. There's a hurricane on its way, and then the fat guy um, is trying to steal the DNA that is stored to sell it to another company to catch up on the research of the competitor. And he shuts down all the systems so that nobody sees what he's doing, so he can get away with this. And then the hurricane hits pretty much as he's doing that, and so all the defenses that keep the dinosaurs away from you and safe from them fail, and now the dinosaurs are roaming around, and everybody has to try to survive dinosaurs, and not everybody does. Um, there would be safeguards against that. In 1993, I mean, when they working on the computers, it's like really early era tech stuff. We've had zoos before. It's the same problem with the more recent one, Jurassic World. It's like it's not the first zoo to ever exist. Yeah, it's the first time with dinosaurs. Build the walls higher. You know, There's just so many flaws in the thinking, but again, it's a fantastic film. Sam Neill does a great job as Dr. Grant. He's both realistic, down to earth, relatable. He's just, the word eccentric is not quite right, but he's just odd enough for the character to work, but then relatable enough to be the lead of a film. He pulls that off perfectly. Um, Jeff Goldblum is a lot of fun in this movie. He's a bit of the cut up, but as Dr. Ian Malcolm. But he's also, they have that brilliant scene where they sit down to dinner. You got the rich Scottish guy, you got the lawyer, and then the three scientists, and they're debating the ethics and the morality of what's going on. And call me an intellectual, but I love that stuff. I thought that was really great, and the use of lighting. When you got someone lighting up behind them, it's like they're making the best point at that moment, and it's a excuse me, a cautionary tale of science going too far, capitalism going too far. It's money driven, so they got a lobby area on the park with all the toys and lunch boxes with dinosaur, the logo on it and all that stuff. This was gonna be a big money maker, and that with the rich Scottish guy. I should look up his name. Rich Scottish guy, Richard Attenborough, does a great job as Dr. Hammond, Dr. John Hammond. Um, he too does a great job because the whole thing is his fault, but his intentions were not evil, misguided, but he didn't want anybody to get killed, and he wanted to share this. He was bringing this magic to the world. He was bringing joy and knowledge to the world. He wasn't trying to destroy ecosystems or kill anybody. He just kind of lost sight of what he was doing, and that could so easily be played as just the traditional villain character, like Austin Powers, who's the bad guy now with the bald head. I'm blanking on his name. He could have gone that way, but instead he was a humble, reasonable guy who just lost track of what he was trying to, what was priority there, which he gets back at the end of the movie. He's like, go save my kids or my grandkids. That's more important than the rest of this. So he redeems himself a bit in that respect. And that's good. It's good writing. There's some moral ambiguity there. There's people talking from different ethical, very Star Trekky. It's not so clear what's exactly right and wrong here. Is from science, isn't it your job to explore? And if you could bring back this species, shouldn't you? And then the counter argument by Dr. Malcolm is, of course not. Evolution selected these animals to be extinct. There's a difference there, and there's moral issues with what you're doing. I love that stuff. And then you get into the action sequences where when the T-Rex finally attacks and the kids are trapped under the car, and suddenly this whole cliff that wasn't just there 5 minutes ago is now there. And I didn't even notice that for years. But the film has those flaws. So if the car falls off a cliff, they end up going on the side of it. But just a few minutes ago, that cliff wasn't there. So, huh? So I would love to be in a flying room when they discuss that. No cliff becomes cliff. But still, it's a film where the pros outweigh the cons. There's a bit where they have a games boardsman guy, the guy in charge of the facility in terms of the animals. I think he's Australian. Fine, make me look him up. Is it Robert Muldoon? I think so. And but anyway, he goes to grab a shotgun. He's gonna go get the power turned back on. Ellie Sadler goes with him. Yeah, Robert Muldoon, played by Bob Peck. And he takes 3 shells. And I'm like, didn't we establish there's more than 3 Raptors? So did you put more shotgun shells in your coat somewhere that we just didn't see happen off screen? What happens if you miss? And then, of course, he doesn't really accomplish anything. He gets killed by the thing that was established in an early scene that one distracts you from the front, the other comes from the side. Well, he didn't know that. He's not a paleontologist. Um, but what was he trying to accomplish? How is he helping? Stick with Ellie Sadler, and when they come for her, take him out with the shotgun. I don't know. So, still a cool character. The way he handled shotgun stuff, it was cool. I just wish he didn't get taken out because I thought he was a better character, one of the better characters in the film. So, and then B.D. Wong is in this. Is Dr. Henry Wu, does a really good job. Henry Wu. Joseph Mazzillo plays Tim Murphy, who went on to be in a bunch of stuff. He was in. Oh, it's getting too late to do these. What was it called? The World War II epic about fighting the Japanese. He was in that. The Pacific. And then Samuel L. Jackson played Ray Arnold. And Wayne Knight plays Dennis Nedry, who was in Seinfeld. He's Newman. So you had a great cast here. They all play each other really well. Again, the visuals were groundbreaking. It's a tremendous film. It's got its flaws, but in logic and stuff like that. But all's well that ends well. It's a good film. And then it has taken a galactic shit ever since. The second one was awful. I'll get to that. The third one was a little bit of fun, but it was really bad. It wasn't as egregious as the second one, but still, Jesus. And I haven't seen any of them since. And I probably should, and I probably shouldn't at the same time. Because I hate wolf movies. So, I'll wrap it up there. Jurassic Park, if you have not seen this, I don't think I sold it well at all. But it's a really good film. Go watch it. And, yeah, you'll thank yourself, because it was the good one of all of them. I don't know how this made such a massive amount of money. It cost $65 million, including deals with 100 companies to market 1,000 products. I don't even know if it's how much it made, but it made a hysterical amount of money. And box office, Jurassic Park became the highest-grossing film released worldwide up to that time. It grossed 3.1 million from 51 million. Box Office Mojo estimates the film sold over 86.2 million tickets in the U.S. in its initial theatrical run. The film did also very well in international markets, with its first to gross 500 million overseas, surpassing the record of 280 million set by E.T. And Lord knows it's made a lot of money in all the Netflix and everything else since. So, made an enormous amount of money, and they found a way to just take a break after that and not care about the writing. And it's all been a shit show since. So, go watch. If you haven't seen Jurassic Park from 1993, go watch it. You'll enjoy it. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Cheers.